Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate some of our favorite in TVs and film. I'm your host, Xavier, and today I am joined by my fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists for a really special episode today. We're going to take a little break from our Summer Blockbuster Fest and go to what was basically a fun little celebration for my birthday, but it was actually a Fathom event going through various different movies, theaters, to showcase the 35th anniversary of a movie that is very near and dear to Anthony and my heart. And it's a movie that we basically grew up on, probably watching it on VHS. Anthony, I don't know if you saw this, but did you ever watch this in theaters? No, right?
No. I mean, I was 3 years old when it came out.
Yeah, so we watched this on VHS. Like, we would just, like, these movies are just, or they would randomly show up on TV, and it was, a lot of fun. But I know Anthony can relate, and having family members or siblings that were older than us that knew about this particular property and got us sort of into it. So when we watched it, we thought it was like, it was like one of the coolest things ever. And especially like during the 90s, like everything was all like, martial arts stuff. So you had like Power Rangers kind of doing its own thing, but kind of the OGs coming out from the late 80s was none other than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we got to watch this movie for its 35th anniversary. Couple months out, but still 35 years since this movie came out. Like it's wild to think that it's a movie that's, I've just always been exposed to and known about with the property, that it's finally been 35 years. And so our fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists, Danny and Zach, they've only really seen was it 2022 or 2023 with the most recent one? Or was it last year, 2024? I'm trying to forget.
I remember if that
was last year?
Was it last year?
Yes.
Was it Mutant, right?
Was it, or was it 2023? I think it was 2023.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, it was 2023. So this is about 2 years old, 2 years from the release of that movie, which itself was pretty fun, really cool. So, but however, I think that was Danny and Zach's first exposure to like a feature film of the Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah. I hadn't even seen the Michael Bay produced ones.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you saw the what I call the Megan Fox ones.
Yeah, I saw I think I saw the one with Arrow joining in as Casey.
Yeah, that was the second.
Stephen Amell?
Stephen Amell.
Yeah. That one,
I think that's the only one I saw briefly.
Okay, so side note, I will die on that hill that's the better of those two movies. 100%. I don't know if so. I think Anthony would agree. Yeah. Because
it felt a lot like the cartoon, the 80s cartoon.
Like Shredder was still a badass. You had Bebop and Rocksteady, and hell, you even had Krang. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that was one of those, like, yeah, man, we're just gonna let this fly and see what happens. So pretty cool either way. But before we could get those movies, we got this classic. I mean, like some say cult classic. I think it's more than a cult classic. Like it was a cultural phenomenon when it came out. And it's nuts because like the way the movie was made was not like something that you would think that nowadays is like, man, like this would have been impossible to make, because like New Line distributed it, but it was practically like an indie movie. Like the whole, like its own, like Eastman and Laird, the two creators of Ninja Turtles, like they had the movie rights, and it was something that was just really like, it was just kind of like, hey, we're gonna throw it out there, we're just kind of do its thing. And it was pretty insane to see that this movie actually was made. But the fact that like it came, go ahead.
Yeah, like when we were watching this movie, right before, they had like a little kind of like a documentary type, or like promoting like the documentary, or like extra scenes and stuff from the movie, or like the making of. And it was pretty cool to see some of the things that they showed. Like how
and how like
went into
because of the Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like how they went into wanting to make like a really good, movie. Like they were all passionate about it. So
No, for sure. And like how I didn't know that there was a lot of extra film that they couldn't fit in. Like even if they did like some like wild director's cut, that there was a lot of extra scenes that they couldn't fit in or they wanted to shoot, but they could never actually do because of the tight film schedule. So like again, it was so like I mean, it's for it being kind of bare bones, like they still did some pretty amazing work. Like and then when I watched it, I thought this was like a big like tent pole summer event or like something that like some studio put a whole bunch of money behind, but I didn't think it was going to be for it being such a hot property at the time. Like this is around, let's say, like 87, 88 is around like Ninja Turtles in its prime. Like you had the comic, which then turned into, I think it was a cartoon and then a toy line, or a toy line and then cartoon. But those toys sold. Like they sold like hotcakes. Like you had the Turtle Mobile, you had all the different villains, you had different like outfits and get-ups and weapons.
It might have been the cartoon first, and then that's where all the merchandise, or at least a lot of the toys, came from. I think
Yeah,
because
because it's
yeah, I know,
usually the
I know,
reverse. Yeah.
yeah, I know there were they were comics, like old comics that were not really for kids. It wasn't like a little kids comic. And then they made it more kiddie for the '80s cartoon, and then it popped off, and we're still talking about it today. It's still around. They've made a bunch of different versions of TV shows and different versions of the movies.
Yeah, it's wild to see that the property can still be reinvented and in a certain way, like still kind of figure out like, heck, we talked about the 2023 Turtles, and then they had a TV show after continuing what's going on there. There's already have a sequel in the works. Like no matter what generation, like Ninja Turtles works. Like it's just the concept is really freaking cool. Having four brothers kind of growing up with a foster dad that's a wise ninjutsu knowing rat, fighting like one of the coolest villains ever. Like this like ninja dude with like a cool ass helmet and a couple other wild stuff too, based off all the mutant stuff happening. And it just works, and it still works, and it's still a whole bunch of fun. Like it's just really freaking cool. Like that's why, like apparently, like even with all of the hype around the cartoon, the toys, that with the movie was still kind of like a long shot. It was, but great to see that as it turns out in the end, like it was a massive hit for the time. It was a really big hit. I think I have numbers, but I don't know, Danny. Did you pull up the numbers? If not, I can pull them up here. But
yeah, I did. Yeah, so budget wise, it was 13.5 million, and worldwide box office has been 202 million. So it's pretty good.
yeah, like that was,
And especially
like,
for the time in the 90s too.
yeah, that's a significant success is what I would say. Like that's a major like that's a lot. Like for just, hey, we're gonna dump in 13 million on this. Okay, that's fine, and then get such a big return. Like that's great. And you can tell in the
And
US, like the property was nuts because it made
yeah,
135 million off of 13.
yeah. So it made more domestic than worldwide, than all the other countries. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like we'll get into it one day about part two. But like it was like part two didn't make as much money, which is weird, but I feel like it made a whole bunch more money like in home cinemas, like with or like in home distribution with like VHS and stuff. But that's for a different time.
gotcha.
But yeah, the original one I had a whole lot going on for it, and it's great. Like so,
But yeah, that doesn't even account for like you said, like home media VHS sales, and then obviously like it helps like the toy sales and any other form of content from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, dude, like the cartoons like theme song is still iconic to this day. Like that's why like people other movies have referenced it. have put it into the movie in its own like remixed way. So it was a cultural phenomenon. Which, by the way, like we're talking about a toy line that, or like a property that spawned a really popular toy line. I always have to plug the Toys That Made Us on Netflix. They actually have a TMNT episode. Pretty insightful, really cool to see like the different toys. I'm also one who had various uh I had a Leonardo and a Donatello action figure. I had like these portraits that like you would hang on your walls, but I had four portraits of each of the Ninja Turtles in my room. I wish I had like an old picture of my room back, like my childhood room, and it would have like just a little section with just Ninja Turtles. It was really cool. Like I wish I still had those. But like watch those two movies, especially this like the two movies that you would see a lot on VHS during the 90s were big for me, and I would assume also big for Anthony too. Like I know he had, Anthony has, in total four other brothers. So imagine like, there's got to be like someone's going to be all about it, and then someone's going to find that's really cool. But I'd love to hear, Anthony, like how you first experienced it on VHS. Was it at home, at your house, as a family member's house, or is it from one of your brothers?
It I don't remember exactly because it was definitely when I was pretty young, and like I said earlier, I wouldn't have seen it in theaters because I would have been 3. But even when it came out on VHS, I was either 4 or 5. So at some point, I guess between the ages like 4 through 6, I watched it, and we had it on VHS. Both, at that time, I was the youngest of my brothers, and so my 2 older brothers also liked Ninja Turtles. My oldest really liked it. He liked the 80s cartoons, so we were all into it, playing the games that had come out on either the NES or Super Nintendo, like Turtles in
Uh,
Time. Awesome,
Dude,
the best.
dude, okay, we have to talk
And
about if we're talking about games, Zach
yeah.
and Danny. If you ever want to play one of the hardest games ever,
Oh my
you
gosh.
need to play the water level in the first Ninja Turtles game for the NES. Like Anthony and I have horror stories about that level. Like
All all
that
all
level,
kids, all people that have played that game.
like it is borderline infuriating. It wasn't not only like the whole like yeah, it basically the level is you had to swim through a dam and disarm bombs. But the problem is the throughout the level there were these like electro like lines that you had to like time and pass, but the timer was faster than like an actual second. So like the timer would go fast, so you try to like you'd have to already be moving in order to pass the lightning or the electricity. If not, you would get hit. And every time you get hit and your life bar would go down, you'd have to go to another brother of the one of the other turtles. And if you got through like all the turtles, then you'd have to go through this stupid little mini cutscene with a dam blowing up and Shredder like ha 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 or whatever. And so it's like so infuriating every time you lost to that level. And it was it's one of the hardest like levels to this day, like in childhood, that I've ever had to deal with. Like that and Battletoads. The hell's up with reptiles and amphibians? But anyway,
Ninja Gaiden.
he also mentioned Turtles in Time. There's an arcade Turtles in Time, but the Super Nintendo Turtles in Time game is, I will say, superior for various reasons. Like the level structure made more sense to me, but also that game was so much fun to play at 2 players. Like anybody who had that game was just like, oh, that's like the party game. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna have fun.
There was also a recent game that came out that's I think on the Switch or something. No, that was or PC.
Yeah, Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, that one is also with like the older art style from the cartoon.
Yeah,
So
like that
it
type
even
of
has
classic.
playable. Yeah, like it has playable characters like April, Casey Jones. I think even Splinter. Once you beat the game, you can play a Splinter. But
It's also a
it
2D beat 'em up, right?
yeah, it's a 2D beat 'em up. So it's similar to the Turtles in Time. Like there was a Turtles in Time remake, but it wasn't like the greatest. The music was not that bad, but like the actual gameplay and the art style seemed a little like, to me it felt phoned in. But we digress. We're talking about games. But the that's cool to hear Anthony like, yeah, like I had brothers, they were really into it, so I got into it. I had cousins that were into it. My sister was also 5 years older than me, so she knew about Ninja Turtles. But I would watch reruns, and I thought this was like the freaking coolest thing ever. So by like at the time I was 5 years old, like 91, 92. I think part two had come out in 1991. So they made that really fast. So like by that time I was already, like maybe 4 years old. Then the residuals of Ninja Turtles is still happening. They had video games still, and I got some of the toys. And it just like a lot of it was a catalyst. I think still this movie was a catalyst for a lot of people getting into turtles because you saw like a lot of live action. It's like, man, like they're live action turtles. Like they're kind of big, but the effects are still there, and like they're still fighting. So like they're actually having a lot of like um these like really cool practical stunts and practical fighting effects. Like it was pretty freaking cool. So like based off of us by Anthony and I having so much exposure, it was a lot of fun to watch this in a big group in a small theater with a lot of people who knew about the movie or just wanted to like relive their childhood and watch it again. But I think it's very interesting. I want to get Danny and Zach's opinions because this was the first time they saw this movie. So I will open it up to either of you two and kind of get like your impressions, your takes on it, and see what you guys thought. Anthony and I will not be judging, I swear.
Sure.
I mean,
okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty cool to, like you were kind of mentioning, being able to see it in a theater with like people who actually like had seen it before, like enjoyed it, loved it, like you guys. So that made a bit of the experience. And then honestly, it was pretty cool to see like, this kind of like anniversary be there for that because Zach and I haven't seen it, so it's a cool first way to watch it. But yeah, and like you said before, Zach and I really haven't seen much of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so just seeing like where the, I guess, like big movie came out to the fans of the franchise, just to see where it all started and kind of relive that, even though we aren't in that time. A little dated, but got to see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if you thought it was like, like it's a movie from 1990, like it's dated, like the dialogue and the like even I would say like looking back on it and rewatching it again, I was like, man, like April still looked like April, like she had the like the yellow outfit and the yellow coat and stuff, like it was very much that. So I was like, man, like Casey Jones looked like Casey Jones. Shredder, like 100% looks like Shredder. Like that's just like
I thought Shredder looked pretty spot on, like what you imagine Shredder would look like, I guess.
Yeah, and like he whoops some ass. Like that was great too. I was just like, man, like Shredder ain't no chump. Like, oh, because he's fighting mutant turtles or whatever. It's like, no, dude, like Shredder can still hold his own. So that's pretty freaking cool.
He has one of the coolest character entrances in any movie. Even to this day, like when we watched him, like, yep, that's still awesome. The way they filmed how he walks, the first time they show him how he walks through the warehouse before he like speaks to all the kids, where like you just see like his shadow, which is in front of him, and then as he's walking closer, the camera kind of like pulls outward, and then you only see his cape, and then the camera comes closer, and then it's like I don't know how they did it, but it almost looks like he comes out of nowhere. Like it's like the shadow and his cape kind of like fuse together, and then he comes out of nowhere. But it was just a cool effect that they did,
and his cape is still like kind of like glistening in a little bit. It's kind of like a little bit like chainmail, but also
yeah,
like regal. Like that is wild, dude. Like it was so freaking cool. And
yeah,
at
it
this
creeped me
point,
out a little bit when I was a kid, but like it still looked cool. I was like, wow, that guy's gonna mess some people up.
yeah, and like he had like the mask with the helmet. I was like, dude, this guy has every right to be called the Shredder. Like it's just like it's just it was pretty. I don't know. Like I remember growing up, I was like, man, this guy's serious. And then you see later in the movie where he's throwing down, I was like, oh, this guy really is serious. Like this is nuts. So it was pretty cool. What about you, Zach? I know. Again, this is like going back. You know, we didn't go back to like throwback to the '80s, but this is practically on 1990. So this is like the beginning of a different decade. But more importantly,
Yeah,
like watching the
borderline,
movie,
yeah.
like, yeah. What did you guys think?
I enjoyed it surprisingly. I wasn't sure how I was gonna enjoy the movie before watching it. Uh, and again, like not having any sort of emotional attachment to these characters. Um, I don't have like any strong opinions, negative or positive, about this movie. Uh, but I did enjoy like some of the dialogue, like some of the wacky kookiness of this movie, especially some of the like those clapback insults that were that were sprinkled in there. like
Those
I don't wanna
lines,
say it out
man.
loud, but
Dude,
that
some of the
one about the
references are
green card.
great. I loved it. It took me back. Like I remember hearing some of the references. Like, dude, there's no way these guys know about this. It's like Zach, what were you thinking? Like I know like, one of the clapbacks.
Well, one of them, yeah, that green card one. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. It's like, now I know how it is to get in here without a green card. I was like, damn. And like that was like Raphael saying that. That was nuts, dude. Like the turtles were pretty cultured for living in the sewer. Like at least like they knew about some stuff. Like I just it's pretty cool. Like that the fact I love the fact that when Raphael first meets Casey Jones, he grabs his bat and he's like, dude, a Jose Canseco bat? I hope he didn't pay money for
Yeah.
this. I was like, damn. Like, because like I mean there's some like there's reasoning behind that because like Jose Canseco was big, but like it was also kind of like he was super commercialized, but also it turned out he ended up like taking a whole bunch of steroids. So it was kind of like, oh, I hope he didn't actually pay for that. And then Casey does like 2-for-1 sale. I forgot about that line. I was like, damn, you know what? I can't blame him because he whips out with both bats. He's like 2-for-1 sale. So you know the a lot of the back and forth between Casey and the ninja and the turtles were really really good. Like that was really good. Like the one where he's or they go in and Donatello's like, "Oh, you're claustrophobic." He's like, "No, man, I didn't even look a guy like that." Like I didn't catch that when I was younger.
Yeah, that was another one that was pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
was like, oh my gosh, I didn't like. Yeah,
uh,
there are
yeah, the
quite a
turtles' lines
few
were
of
really
those.
good.
Yeah,
Like that, and
but
like the other
yeah,
bantering and stuff was really good.
yeah, man.
And
Like I'd
for a
love to.
short
How
movie
good?
too, I'm surprised that they were able to squeeze in like a lot of stuff in there. Like, you know, they squeezed in like their origin story and then like the origin story of Shredder and all this stuff, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
And it was
I'm
all of
actually.
93 minutes, I think, is the movie.
Yeah, like with credits, yeah, like it's like an hour and a half. Yeah, I was very surprised. I was like, holy crap. Like I was again, it's looking at it now as an adult, I'm just like, man, like I'm just like really thankful the movie got made because like it's like there could have been so many little things that just work together and it's just like, nope, this is bad. Or like it could have been like completely ruined. But it's pretty good. Like it was really cool. Like I'm glad that you guys overall liked it, but like I'd love to hear some of your like favorite moments or some of the like fun things that stood out to you. Like, you know, New York City and the crime wave of, you know, thieving foot soldiers or anything like that.
I like
I feel like
the. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like how they did like the underground stuff, like the sewers and like their I guess home slash hideout. Um, it actually looked pretty good. Like not gonna lie for the time.
Nice, yeah.
Uh,
Like good.
Oh, I was gonna say that for me, like, I liked what the I don't know the exact name of what it's called, but where all the kids are, where they're hanging out and they have uh a lot of like arcade games and pinball machines and pool tables and things like that.
And skate ramps, dude. Legit skate
Yeah, the
ramps.
skate ramps. That's insane. That was pretty cool that they had all that stuff
That's
there.
the ultimate
Like-
90s hideout, bro.
Like as a kid, I would love to hang out in a spot like that. Minus all
What
the
you're
smoking
telling
and
me-
drinking that was going on.
So what you're telling me is that you would absolutely have been recruited by the Foot Clan.
100%.
Yep, there it is. Yep, there you go.
I don't know if I agree with the stuff that they do, but if it means getting to do all that stuff at the hideout, I'm all in.
You're just
So
gonna
you would
steal a whole
steal
bunch of
some
stuff.
people's wallets and random
boom
microwaves.
boxes and TVs.
I wouldn't do that. Like if I can get by with
That's
just
what they
moving-
did. That was like the payment. Like if you want to hang out here, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, and on top
I'd
of
probably
that,
pay someone.
that was like your entry level in order to actually be a member of the Foot, like to be an actual Foot Ninja with like the goggles and everything.
It's funny how TMNT has the foot and then Marvel has the hand.
Yes, that is I think the idea because the hand came out first, and I think
And they're both
Eastman and
in New
Laird.
York.
Yeah, like I'm
And
pretty
then-
sure. Yeah, like I think if I'm not if I remember as much as I think the hand came out first, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna make them the foot. So, like that's kind of the idea. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, don't ask questions. It's fun. But what did you guys think about the tone of the movie? Because I think this movie still holds up really well because it balances both like the kind of like some of the silly stuff because they're teenagers, but also like the serious stakes.
Yeah, it
Well, I
definitely
don't know
has.
No, you go ahead.
It definitely has that swing of like super cheesy and like these one-liners and like these quotes of the time, and then a couple moments it's like super serious or like this action or these deep quotes between the brothers or the conversation. So it definitely goes through all the emotions, I guess.
For me, I don't know who it was that said it. I don't know if it was Anthony, or maybe it was someone else that we saw the movie with, because we were in a big group. So someone said that oh yeah, this is a very serious movie, and I'm like, after the movie, I'm like, whoever told me
No.
this was a serious movie was lying.
No, it's not yeah, it's like some serious because like Splinter gets kidnapped. He's like basically left there for kind of like semi-tortured or whatnot, and
Yeah, just
you
like
know,
hanging.
yeah, like the to me the scary part is like the part that what always makes the movie serious for me is when Raphael is going out and just like kind of blowing off steam, and then he just like gets he tries to get jumped by like maybe like 6 foot clan ninjas, and he starts whooping them senses, and then more show up, and then more show up, and he's just like, oh, yeah, this isn't good. And then the whole point where like he just basically gets like beat up and then gets thrown through the skylight, like that was like, oh my gosh, like yeah, Raph is out, like this guy got chucked. And then that's like, oh my god, it's serious. And then some guy rolls up with like the nunchucks, and then Michelangelo's like, oh, a fellow chucker, I see. And then does his whole like that whole bit that never gets old, I swear. Like
Oh,
that,
okay, yeah, that was actually pretty funny. I like that part a lot. He's like, because the other guy's like, oh, he's good, but or at least
Yeah.
his facial expression was like, oh, he's
They're
good.
they're just going back and forth.
Yeah, because they're like, what are these mutant weird freaky dudes looking? And like they're doing the whole thing, and like there's a guy in the Michelangelo suit doing this stuff too. Like it's not just it ain't for nothing. Like there's skill involved in this. And then like the guy finally does his whole thing where he goes off of the neck or whatever, and then Michelangelo's like spin with one finger, and he's just looking like, you're gonna have to keep practicing. And that's when like the whole fight goes off. Like that was a lot of fun. Like that was a like I forgot. What was it? Also, I think somebody they put Donnie's head in the fish tank, and he gets back up and spits the water at them.
I
Is
don't
that this
remember
movie?
that.
Was that this
Yeah, that
movie or is
happened in
that?
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Good.
happened.
I'm like, I don't want to get mixed up with part two, which is gets way more sillier. Yeah, like that happened in this movie. Yeah. Okay. Good. That junk's hilarious. I was
Z-
like, damn it! Like,
Zach, that was me that said that because I was mentioning
Okay,
it more along the lines of like you probably think this is like a kiddie movie, and like if you watched it when you were a kid, you probably wouldn't be like, "Yay, it's the best," because it's kind of serious for a kids movie. Like obviously not for us now that we're older, but like yeah, it has those fun moments. But yeah, even when I was younger and saw this, I was like, I liked some of it, but yeah, there was other parts. I'm like, ooh, some parts creep me out. Of course, most of the parts with the bad guys. I was like, oh, even Splinter freaked me out a couple of times because so it's a like a talking rat, and it was like
a
a
1 year talking
weird
rat.
looking
Yeah.
puppet. Yeah, but no, yeah, like you can't show a 5-year-old this movie. It's
Because
at least
what was this
at
movie
least
rated? Like PG,
I probably
probably.
wouldn't.
PG.
Yeah, I think it's PG, but
Well, but
and
that
I
was
would say
before, I
compared
guess,
to all the
PG-13
other
was a thing, right?
compared to all the other movies, this
Yeah.
one
PG
is
13 was a thing,
probably
but this was PG.
were the Michael Bay produced ones PG-13 or those were PG?
Uh
You're probably PG-13. I mean, well, question, was there swearing?
I
If
don't
yes,
remember.
then PG-13.
I just know that out of the majority of the Turtles movies, this one's probably a little bit more darker in tone than a lot of the others.
It is PG-13.
yeah, the Michael Bay
Which one?
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the Michael Bay produced ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild when you think about it. But yeah,
You like whenever you guys see the second one, you'll see a big difference because it's much more jokey.
oh yeah, definitely way more jokey. But yeah, like Out of the Shadows and the original, like and the first new set live action, yeah, that was uh yeah, that was PG-13 as well. It's actually only like a little bit longer than the other one. So it's only like 10 to 12 minutes longer than the original. Kind of surprising.
Yeah,
But
I saw that there. Yeah, I was like, I'm surprised that it's as short as it is.
yeah, I mean, like, and for it being, I remember, like Danny was saying, it's kind of like older. Like to me, it still like kind of holds up because of the practical suits and the puppeteering effects going on. Like, obviously, you have like like this version of April O'Neil to me seems it's a lot more like just like closer to like the comics and the video games and um she's still like an intrepid reporter. Like, hey, like there's this, the Japanese American community saying there's like I don't remember that. We're like, hey, like she's actually investigating the Foot Clan, and they're just like, hey, stop that. And but I always remember though, like her getting under the skin of the police chief. I was like, yeah, because that guy sucks, and he sucks at his job, and like that whole thing going on. The initial confrontation between Raphael and Casey Jones after they try to stop the muggers. He was just like, "Hey, like there's like, hey, like you don't gotta beat them up like that. Like not like that. They don't." He's like, "Oh, you got." It's like two versions of vigilanteism going on, and uh, it was really fun to see because then it was like, you know, it's like you got to see more of like Raphael's character. One of my favorite lines is just like like Casey Jones whips out the cricket bat and he's like, "Cricket? You got to know what a crumpet is to know understand what cricket is."
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah, I love that. And like they had their little showdown, and like Casey wins that one time, like hits him with a cricket bat, and like how Raph gets mad, he's just like, "Ah, come back here!" Like I loved it. Like I love that he's just like, "Damn it!" Like I'm really mad, but it's a good like intro, and then show like, hey, there's something else going on. Her April's boss's son is all like involved with the Foot. We got the origin story for the Turtles. Like that's honestly that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie because you have like the little like Stan
Baby
Winston
turtle
puppets,
puppets.
baby turtles. Like he's like, I found out that they were really intelligent because they were in some weird ooze. And then it's like they start speaking, and the first thing they say is pizza.
And they show also like a, I don't know if it was animatronic or stop motion of tiny Splinter like copying the moves of his master.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yamato
they look like
Yoshi.
puppeteering.
Yeah, to me it seemed a little bit of puppeteering, but it might also be stop motion. I honestly don't know, but I what I know is that it was effective. It made me believe that Splinter was in his cage trying to mimic ninjutsu moves. Like you can't go wrong with that. Let's see
I
what
like
else.
that during that scene that Raphael was chasing Casey Jones. I think Raphael like jumps over the hood of a car, and then I think it was a taxi, and the guy in the back was like, "What was that?" And the driver's like, "Looked like a big green dude," or didn't he say like it just looked like a big green turtle running around?
You look like a turtle in a trench coat, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Get me the hell out of here!" Right? Like I was like, "I need to get the hell out of this town!" Like immediately.
Oh yeah, 'cause he says that, and he cuts straight to So anyway, you're going to JFK or whatever airport he was saying. I don't even
Right?
know
He's
what
like,
airport. It's like, oh, so JFK, right?
yeah, it's like JFK, right? It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Like I'm not even gonna pay attention. I just get the hell out of here. Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh freaking hell!
I always like that they, you know, they like pizza so much and they would order it and they like know the time frame. Like, oh, if they spend too long, we're gonna get a discount on it.
Yeah, you'd never pay full price on a late pizza.
Yep.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds. That never gets old. Just and then like when they're in the hideout, like Mikey goes to the phone and like Splinter's having this whole like very nice conversation, like, hey, you know, it's great that you were out there and you didn't get seen because they rescue April because she was about to get mugged by a couple of like these guys that are like doing the the grunt work for the Foot Clan. And they the lights go out and then they just whoop everybody, and that's when like Raphael loses the sai and he's like, damn it, I lost my sai. Like, but that was the whole thing that came out. They're all like bragging, yeah, we did our ninja stuff. And then Mikey's there like, yeah, I want pizzas. Like, there better be no anchovies, like absolutely no anchovies whatsoever. And then that's where like they give him the address of like, what was it, 120 something and an eighth. And Donnie's like, yeah, it's an eighth right here in the grate, buddy. And they give him the 10. He's like, dude, it's 13. He's like, dude, you're late. He's like, yeah, I can't find the place. It's not fair. Dude, I thought that was freaking hilarious. Like, dude, I can't find the other spot. What do you mean, dude? Like, there are so many like little lines that I always remember that stick with me forever. So like when they go to April's place after they rescue her and she takes him back to his place, she takes him back over to like like to her place that's above that thrift shop. The fact that they're eating the fact that Michelangelo and Donatello they're eating pork rinds. Every time I eat pork rinds with my sister, I always look at her and go, pork rind? And he's like, pork rind. Like one of us will always complete the line. Dude, like it's so good. I think was it, but I don't know, was it this movie or was it part two where they keep crunching into Raphael's ear and he's like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
part two.
that's part two, right? Yeah, like that's the same thing. So like, but part one like just had more of like that like brotherly humor of just like, oh my yeah, these guys are brothers and they're occasionally will get sick of each other. So that was nuts. Um, what else? Any other
Did any of
fun
you
moments
guys
that you guys
did you
remember?
guys have a favorite one? Because I always liked Michelangelo out of the four.
My favorite turtle.
Hurdle, yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
No, I've never had a favorite one, and I don't really like. In this one, I could tell the difference a little more, but
Yeah,
like
before I
I've
can
never
never
been
come up
able
with.
to, yeah, like whose personality was what.
So okay, because red is Raph,
Mhm.
orange is Mikey, blue is Leo, and
Yep.
purple's Donatello.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
And for the most part, I think in most or all the movies, they kind of have the same like not that the four of them had the same personality. It's just that throughout the different iterations, they've kept, I think, the same personalities that they had from the '80s cartoon. So like Donatello's the really smart one, like he's a smart nerdy one. Um, Leonardo's the like kind of like the leader, the more like calm and
Like,
collected
yeah,
one, but he's also like very skilled. He's a very skilled swordsman.
I like the fact that
Um,
I've always liked Leo the most because for many reasons, but like I like the leadership qualities of it. I also like the fact that he technically has the deadliest weapon, but he's the
yeah,
most disciplined to use them. So I always thought that was really cool. It's like, damn, like he's out here like doing stuff, but he's not like straight up murdering people like left and right. So it's like
right.
it's so he knows how to use them, but still like get the whole idea done. So that was really
Yeah,
cool.
and Raphael's like the hothead, and but like the bruiser, probably like the strongest one. Maybe not like the most skilled, but he's definitely the strongest, and has a temper, as you saw in the movie. And then Mikey's just like the happy-go-lucky, mess around and love pizza, and just I'll do anything to have a good time. And he
Yeah,
has nunchucks. His nunchucks are cool.
his nunchucks are really cool. What was funny though is that who was it that was the skateboarder one? Was it Raph or was it
I think all of them can skateboard, but I think Michelangelo is the one that skateboards the most.
okay? Who was the one towards the end of the movie where he was on the board and just whooping all the foot soldiers? There's
I
like, dude,
think
what
it
the
was
hell is this?
Donatello. I think
Or
it was
was it
Donatello.
Donnie?
That's why, like, they
Okay,
all can do it, but I
yeah.
think it's like, it's part of their like persona. Like, oh yeah, let's be kind of like surfer dudes, but that's like Michelangelo's the one that embodies that the most. But yeah, I think in the movie it was Donatello, at least
Okay.
from
And
what I remember.
in the movie, who was the one that was at the beginning of the movie that was ordering the pizza again? Was it Donatello?
Mikey.
Michelangelo.
Or was it
Definitely
Michael?
Mikey. Always Mikey.
I
Someone's
thought
ordering a
I could
pizza,
have
it's gonna be
sworn.
Mikey.
He's usually the one that like starts off like the one-liners or the jokes, and then the others kind of like pile on because like, oh yeah, that's because they're brothers.
Okay, because I could have sworn it was one of either Leo or Donnie
They
that was ordering that
probably they
pizza in the
probably like
background.
continued it after the fact.
Yeah, like whoever was saying that. Oh, and no anchovies and whatever. I thought
Yeah,
that was
that's
That's
Michelangelo.
Mikey
oh,
100%. Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
that
I was
was it.
confusing them then because I was gonna say, oh yeah, it was whoever was doing that, but I was assuming it was Donnie or Leo. But throughout the movie, probably I would say Mikey was my favorite one.
My man.
Yeah. And what's funny is that down there they still had a TV. So like I had forgotten the fact that they're watching like that cartoon of the tortoise and the hare, and they're just like, come on, man, like do something. Like they're like trying to have the tortoise like beat up the hare. Like that was pretty great. Like and like the fact that like although like they have their own fun personalities, like they're all very father they have that great emotional connection to Splinter because he's basically like their dad, like he kind of raised them. um and I also like looking going back further, like watching it again, like what did you guys think of Splinter, like his practical, like a lot of like the practical effects from him too, like
you could go
giant rat.
first this time, Zach.
Well, no, I'm trying to think because I I mean the suit he was wearing or the costume he was wearing was massive. Like it was very bulky. Or at least like up until I guess he takes some of it off before the final fight at the end. But now are you talking about in general or are you talking
Just in
about
general, yeah, like how we like the effects of like the giant like Splinter effect of him speaking, or like like when he was chained up, like those kind of things. Like it's just like how it looked in live action compared to like him talking to like I forgot this kid. What was this kid's name? Daniel?
yeah, Danny?
Yeah, Danny. It's Dan now. I love that. He's like, I'm grown up. My name is Dan now. Like, shut up, kid. I know nothing. And anyway, yeah, like those scenes, and even like at the final fight scene after like Shredder whoops on all four of the turtles, he comes out and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna whoop you because I don't know if you guys probably knew like the plot twist of like the Shredder and his connection to Splinter, right?
Oh yeah, I caught that way early on.
Okay, good. But you didn't
Yeah,
know about it
yeah.
before, right? You didn't know, but you caught
No.
on. Like it's
Like
not like you
before the
came in
movie,
knowing.
no. But
Yeah,
Okay,
like
before the
cool.
movie.
while watching the movie, yeah, I got it.
You're like, oh, probably Shredder killed Splinter's master, and Splinter bit this guy in the face. That guy sucks. Oh,
Orokusaki.
who killed my master Yamato Yoshi? Yeah, that was like it was damn dude. Like the movie's so cool. Like there's just like it's just a bit of like nostalgia, but also like man, the movie was still made well. Like even the whole like fire effect after the fight in the antique shop, and they have to like escape, and they're still like dragging Raph because he's still sort of knocked out. The fact that they escape to that little like house and they're recovering and trying to like regroup. There's more like bonding moments between the turtles and Casey. April's still trying to figure stuff out. Like she has like the sketches of the turtles that they made. It's really cool. That was really cool. Like, and they found the ways to like connect all that stuff together. And like
Yeah, I thought
they
that little scene or that little sequence was pretty cool.
yeah, like Donatello and Casey Jones was freaking hilarious. Like they're just like sort of on each other's nerves, but they're like already bonding because of it. Like, I forgot when it was when like I think it was might have been Donatello, or it's just like where like Casey and April kind of doing stuff like, oh look, a Kodak moment. And I was one of those like I was like, I don't know if these people know what a Kodak moment means. Like that was
Oh, the camera, yeah.
like a Kodak, yeah, the Kodak moment is basically like, like take a picture and then you get your Polaroid out and yeah, like it's so freaking cool. Damn it, dude.
But I thought Shredder looked pretty cool and he was pretty menacing, like a very serious uh character, not taking any shit, that sort of thing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Like
he
the
manhandled
final
all
fight.
four of them, like it was nothing.
He had that like double spear. I'm like, oh, okay, that guy I guess can sort of fight. And then like I forgot who goes like, yeah, let's go get him. And like immediately like gets like tossed. I was like, oh my gosh, like yeah, okay, this guy's legit. Like he's not just like some weird cult leader, because that's basically what it came out to. He's just like Splinter's telling you like, yo, you guys are in a cult, like get out. And he's like, okay, you're right. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
like
Sam
he goes
Rockwell.
and right.
Yeah,
He just
I was
rips.
gonna bring him up too because we haven't talked about him yet. But seeing Sam Rockwell was kind of crazy.
That's like
Got to start
I
somewhere.
remember like that was nuts. Like I was just like, wait, this is the weirdest. Like I remember watching this, like, dude, this is the weirdest thing I'm seeing right now. Like he just showed up with his like kind of like weird like half goatee, the slick back hair. I'm like, this guy's an Oscar winner now. Like, look at that. You see, he wouldn't have had his break if it wasn't for Ninja Turtles. Movie is
Was
a
that his first
cultural
movie?
significance. Nah, I don't think it's first movie, but it's like, hey, like you're in a movie that made money, so let's put you in something else. Yeah.
Made a lot
Um,
of money.
exactly. It made a lot of money, dude. Yeah, like
Yeah, just the
man, dude.
merchandising alone with this property, because like even if you can say now, oh, maybe the movies are not as popular, it's died down, and whatever new iteration of like an animated cartoon has maybe died down, but it's just like, but there's still toys and you name it, lunch boxes, uh, backpacks, anything
I
like
had
for
a
school,
lunchbox,
like
dude.
yeah,
No, I
like
actually had a lunchbox.
anything for
Holy
kids and especially for a school, like oh, your notebook back in the day, at least for me, like when I was that young, the trapper keepers, the ones with like the velcro, like you close it with the velcro, like I would get like Transformers or Ninja Turtles stuff because that's what all the kids were into back in the day, and they still have that. So like balloons, birthday cards, you name it, like they're still part of the zeitgeist. They're not as popular as they maybe were, but and they're still making games. So it's like hasn't gone away. It's still one of those franchises that still has legs. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
man.
cool that we were able to see that because I hadn't seen it in theaters before. So it was only I only wore out that VHS tape because when you're that young, you tend to watch the same things over and over again.
Yeah, dude. Like, the like Anthony's point, like I'd never seen it in theaters, so having that kind of like experience with a whole bunch of other people, I think was really fun, and I think it's nice to see that like we're not the only ones that like remember growing up with this kind of stuff because it was it was pretty freaking cool. Like it got a lot of this stuff right. Like it's just a lot of like the character interactions, like the really fun like some of the fun one-liners, the dialogue, like yeah, like the references are dated. Like they had a moonlighting reference that I was like, holy crap, like none of like most of these people in this room do not know about what this is. Like, I think I was like I was next to my girlfriend, I was like, that's a TV show with Bruce Willis. And she's like, whoa, that's old. I was like, yeah, dude. Like that was like from the 80s. So it stands to show that like for being living in a sewer and with like a really dinky TV, like the turtles got their stuff around. Like sorry, they got to like still watch stuff. So whatever antenna signal they got was still pretty legit. Because back then you got your TV signal through, over the air antenna. We're dating ourselves. Rabbit ears, right? Anthony, I can't be the only one. Come on.
With what
The TVs.
the wire antenna?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Freaking wired. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like
but
still having that stuff. But
those would break a lot, and then I would like use them as like a makeshift like sword when I was just like
sword, dude,
playing
it's
around.
absolutely. It's just becoming the Anthony and Xavier like
And then I'm like,
childhood power
hey, look,
hour.
I'm Leonardo now because I'm using the antenna as a sword.
Dude, I would unscrew a mop and like a mop and like, hey, I'm Donatello now. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, and
It
then
was hard. It was hard to come up with a sai because then that's like an actual
yeah,
dangerous.
that's like the second most like second deadliest weapon that the turtles had. Like side. Um,
And not
but
not in many
yeah,
movies. That's why it was extra cool that Keanu Reeves got to use some in Matrix Reloaded.
yeah, freaking cool. Oh man, dude, like Ninja Border. Why don't you think? Yeah, like the movie's great. Like it's just oh man, the one scene that I remember going like Anthony like now older and like knowing Anthony, like every time I watch the scene, I'm like, damn, Bonesaw is when the Foot Clan like jump April at the subway station, and they're like, you need to keep your mouth shut, and then like he holds his. We have the Foot Clan has something for you, and then he opens his hand, and she's like, what's there? And he just slaps her in the face.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was like, jeez, people are crazy.
Keep your mouth shut. I was like, damn, dude, chill out. Okay, that's what I think. That also cements like, hey, the Foot don't play. Like these guys are legit ninjas. And
Yeah,
then
but
of
he
course,
didn't
like
use his
yeah,
foot. He used his hand.
he's his
Doesn't make
hand.
sense. Doesn't make sense.
Don't ask questions. They look cool for being ninjas, and then they got their asses whooped by the turtles. Man, that was great. Oh, okay. Talking about other like ninjas whooping people, Tatsu. I need to Zach and Danny. I need to know your opinions on Tatsu, like Shredder's right hand man.
Goofy.
Good,
Goofy.
hella goofy.
I'm gonna call him right here. I'm gonna call him right now. He's gonna come over and whoop you.
Yeah, go play. I was like, damn, dude, like what the. Like it's grunting, really bad dubbing, and then like whooping on Casey Jones
Shortest
for that
lines.
one moment. Yeah, he whooped. Yeah, he like whooped on him for a little bit, and then Casey Jones hit him with the golf club. It was like bam, and that's when Splinter had like the heart to heart where everybody's like, "Hey kids, this guy's messing with your brain," and they got out. I still think to this day like Casey Jones closing the trash in the trash thing, like I thought that was like hella gnarly for being like
Yeah, that's what I'm
kid.
saying, man. This is not a kids movie. He straight up just murdered somebody. He goes,
Yeah,
"Whoops."
yeah, he goes
Then he
oops. So I was
turned.
like, dude, he's dead. Yeah, I was like, what is happening,
Flips
dude?
the switch and squishes everything in the garbage truck.
Yeah, I was like, I think, and no, you see that the helmet squished. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. Yeah, dude. Like,
I feel like it's one of those things where he's not actually dead and he's gonna come back in the second or third movie. I'm calling it right now.
No,
what, the
they don't
Shredder
do
comes
stuff
back to
like
second
that.
movie? You just have to watch the second movie,
I guess so.
which is yeah, because apparently next year is the 35th anniversary of part two.
Oh man, that's gonna be. Can't wait for that one.
That one's gonna be fun. The movie is a little more lighthearted than the first one, but
Yeah, I watched the second one a lot more than the first
I
one.
had both VHSs, but I watched the second one more because like there was I don't know like the opening fight sequence is nuts but anyway um dude it's freaking good
And it was a little jarring also coming back to watch this one because since I'm so used to watching the second one and then other iterations, I remember, specifically how the costumes look like. And they do look different and like a little bit of a step down in this first movie compared they look a little better in the second movie. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, this is how it is in the first movie. And then they kind of like did some upgrades
yeah
to
they
the puppet.
upgraded to the actual suits, right?
I mean, there were suits in both movies. It was like
But you're talking
they
about
just
specifically the costumes for for
yeah,
just
the
the
costumes
turtles or
for
for
the four
like
turtles, like
oh okay
specifically
gotcha
for them when you like compare it to the costumes in the first movie. Yeah, they're a little bit upgraded in the second one.
that's true yeah especially considering like there's more like practical stuff that they use like with their shells and other stuff and they do the the 4-on-1 Tatsu squeeze. You'll see that later, guys. It'll be fun. But like I'm still impressed that like there's a lot of the movement in the actual like faces of the turtles with there being stunt guys in those suits like doing actual martial arts and actual fighting. Like even in just the spar like the training that they had back at April's like camp house, like they're still moving. Like they're doing cartwheels. Raph on the rooftop is still like fighting, doing his own little like shadow boxing thing. Like it's pretty legit, dude. Like I was so impressed that at least still, so I was like, man, like this still looks pretty good. I don't know if Danny or Zach, like again, from a movie being dated from 35 years ago, like how a practical effect can still make something be more realistic. Like, what did you guys think?
I mean, I didn't really have any issues with any of the practical effects or anything. Like
Well, not
even
issues,
for
more
the
just like were
yeah,
you impressed by it? Or you're like, hey, like this is a pretty cool like most of the movies that you've seen, like, they've been CG or animated, or the most of the things you've seen are CG or animated. It's like this is practical. So like for us back in the day when Anthony were
yeah, like
younger, this was
this must
like
have been
holy crap.
great in the 90s.
Well, yeah, remember
um
this is like pre Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park, so we're
Still
still in
Stan
the
Winston, right?
yeah.
we're still in the like very practical either puppet or stop motion era of effects, and they in this case they're like, no, we're just gonna make full out, full blown costumes for people to
I mean,
wear, and I'm
you
sure it
could
was
you
extremely
c-
hot when they were in it.
oh, for sure. I mean, you could tell it was a costume, but like it actually looked pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. Like it looks better than a lot of the CGI nowadays. It, funny enough.
Right, because it's like an actual thing you can touch.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did really like the practical effects because there wasn't really anything that was not practical, right? Like everything was pretty much either a costume or a puppet or something, right?
Everything was
Uh,
practical. The only thing that they think like superimposing was like the stop motion or the puppetry of like the young turtles and pre mutant Splinter, basically.
yeah, because I like especially for the turtle costumes, I feel like those looked really good for being practical. Like, they weren't too bulky. They weren't like too cartoon like. But they did look pretty good for what they were able to do with them.
absolutely. Yeah, like even like in like the talking scenes, like you'd see like like you see like the obviously the lips move and like the blinking. You're like, damn, like these are like legit. Like probably a lot of the the budget went to that. Like, hey, like we gotta get like the practical effect of these turtles doing their things, and at the same time, like we need to keep the suits mobile enough to fight in because like you had a couple major fight sequences. Obviously, you even have the turtles squaring up against the Shredder, and like the Shredder has to still like I think there's a point where like I think he struggled the most against like Leo, or like when they all jumped him, he's like, nah, like get out of here, and he's taking them all out one by one. It's like like a lot of like. What did you guys also think about like the fight choreography or the fight sequences there?
I would say probably very like it looked dated in some places. Like it looked like it was just like choreographed than looking like more natural. I mean, again, it's a '90s movie, but like some of it looked really good, but then other parts like it was like you can tell, yeah, it was a little bit like, all right, I'm gonna right hook, and then you're gonna you're gonna pretend like you got hit. Like that's what it looked like in some cases.
Yeah, I think it gets better in future movies. Not much better because it's still in the '90s, and they're still like also making it for kids. So it's like we can't really show. Obviously, you can't show a sword or a sai go through anybody, and you can't show. I mean, you can show like the other weapons of the turtles, kind of smack any enemies like the Foot Clan or anything like that. But yeah, it definitely does get better in the second movie. I think they probably were able, like I said, since they upgraded the suits, they probably made it a little bit easier for actual actors in the suits to do more of their either flips or movements. So it looks a little bit more fluid than like clunky. Because this one, I agree with you. It's like, yeah, if you're a kid watching this, you probably don't care because you're not like thinking about that. You just think like, whoa, I'm seeing these big green things that are turtles, and they're fighting and it looks cool. But we're older now, we're looking at it through a different lens, and it's like, yeah, it looks very dated, it looks very uh you know minimalist action, especially when we're used to seeing movies like John Wick or anything more modern that actually like takes the time to do full blown action sequences that are very well choreographed. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I'd say the same thing. Like, yeah, I can, I have my nostalgia glasses on for when I enjoyed it as a kid, but I could also see and be like, yeah, it's not the best, but it's just still fun watching it.
And to your point about the costumes, I'm pretty sure like some of these movies from that time that had like practical costumes instead of some sort of like CG or like superimposed sort of uh like special effects. I feel like the actors in the suits would have had at least like two or three different suits for different things, like one that's a little bit more flexible for the fighting scenes and ones uh that are
Like for standing
used
around
for like
talking.
more, yeah, like for just like static moments.
Right. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. And
How
the
much
thing is,
money
like,
that would cost? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, like
but I mean, when
they
you're
probably did. Yeah, they probably
yeah,
actually
when you're
did.
doing movies like these, you kind of there's not many ways you can do it. It's kind of like either you do it this way, and nowadays, or you can continue to do it the old way, or like they did recently, you could just do full blown CGI monstrosities. I don't know why they were that big in those movies, but yeah, they did motion capture for all four of them. So it was still actors doing the movements and saying the lines for those newer Michael Bay produced movies, but you know, you lose a little of that kind of like authenticity that the old ones brought.
Yeah, like it was almost like, hey, like again, like it was a great for what it's worth, like a showcase for um the Stan Winston company. Um, and
And then they're
like,
like, well, let's build some dinosaurs now.
yeah, like
Which
let's make
that's
some
what
dinosaurs and change cinema history forever by being like, yeah. It's cool, man. Like again, like it's more like the I'm gonna say cut their chops because the turtles had like pretty prominent like teeth and like their and the lips too. But I like you said, like it's dated. You could see it, but I don't think it necessarily deterred from the overall like action that we get from it. So I'm glad to see that. Yeah, like Anthony's point, like we will go back. We'll look at this movie with those rosy tinted nostalgia glasses and the nostalgia goggles on, but it's still like to a certain extent, like you can look at and appreciate what it did for its time.
Oh,
And
of
I think
course.
that's like, yeah, I think that's like the main takeaway that I think I kind of really take from this movie is that like I appreciate the movie being made because it was made really well. And like, for it being based off of a licensed property, it did really well. Like other stuff that were based off of comics back in the day, like were not good. Like Dolph Lundgren's The Punisher, the really bad Captain America movie. I don't know if that came out after, but like there was a Captain America movie that uh was really bad. Like it's just like this was like really 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 old. Like I can't
uh,
even remember like
that original Fantastic Four movie was in the 90s, early 90s as well.
that's right, yeah. Yeah, like the Captain America movie where like that came out was also in 1990. So yeah, you have like, oh god, here's Captain America, but like, hey, look, Ninja Turtles. It's based off the cartoon. It's pretty good. The He-Man movie wasn't actually that good. Um, there were a couple others where they tried to do some of this in the 80s, and it was like definitely not. It definitely didn't work right. Or it didn't work out. So
Yeah, so I'm very curious as to how the new He-Man movie is gonna look because now you have better technology and they're probably able to mimic the old style cartoon better than they did back then.
that's true. Yeah, like you know what? I think the ultimate test is going to be what Man at Arms looks like. If Man at Arms, which is played by Idris Elba, by the way, if Man at Arms comes out, uh, like if it looks good, then it's going to be like, hey, like we got this. Like this is actually going to be dope. But the only thing we've seen are like silhouettes and like concept arts of Battle Cat. I digress. But like that's why it's so special to see like, damn, like this is it can be done. Like this is really good. Like we can actually make this stuff happen. Like it can be if we can put quality behind it, we can make sure that it's a thing.
So Danny and Zach have a question.
Go for it.
Do
Get
you
him.
guys have TURTLE power?
I'm sorry.
Sure.
The rap song at the end of the movie.
You didn't hear
Oh,
the song at the end? It was TURTLE power.
I heard bits and pieces of the song, but I have no
So you
idea
don't
what was.
have turtle power. I guess another way to phrase it was, did you guys like the movie? Like, would you want to see the second one?
Yeah, I'd watch the second one.
Me too. I'd probably go ahead and watch it too. Might as
All right.
well.
So
I
we
think I
like
kinda
we
wanna
know
wait.
for Zach, anything past the 80s is like okay, it's slightly better than 80s movies, so I'll give it a pass.
Hey,
I'll
whoa,
give it
whoa,
a
whoa, whoa,
shot.
whoa, hold
Yeah.
on. I enjoyed Star Wars.
Oh,
Because it
Hello.
didn't come out in the 80s. The
80
first
and
Star Wars
and
didn't
the
83, so
come out
original
in
he's
the 80s.
Star Trek.
technically not
Hello.
wrong.
But
And
he
Star
said
Trek.
Star Wars specifically. So you're talking about the first one.
And that was in the 70s. That was 77. That's older.
Right. But like movies in the 80s you just don't like. So you probably don't like
Oh, no.
Return of the Jedi or
Well, obviously there are movies
Empire.
that I wouldn't
Damn,
or that I haven't
hit him.
enjoyed.
No,
Star
that's
Wars
good.
Empire Strikes Back. Duh.
Garbage, obviously. Garbage.
Hilarious. Like, no, just
But no,
absolute garbage.
no, that's good to hear. Because like, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it's not the best movie, but it's fun. It's very cheesy, very old school, and yeah, I mean, it did its job. If it can still make people want to watch the next one or make them enjoy it, so
Yeah, dude. And I think it like you said, it still kept the turtles going in terms of like I give it more lasting power, turtle power. Yep, I'm not gonna stop.
Years
I
and a half
won't.
shell.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you have that one. I'm sorry, but
Good.
like it gave the property more um opportunities to kind of like do more and like get more out of it. So that's why we got like the great video games, and then it's enough to like it stick with people so that as it generations go by, I think it's like you know some of the generations have kids and like, hey, yeah, like this is cool. Like, you know what? I love Ninja Turtles. See if you like Ninja Turtles. Like, damn, you know what? I did like Ninja Turtles. Or like the younger kids are like, hey, Ninja Turtles is really cool. And then kind of just like keeps going and going. So it's like you said, it has it can kick shell for generations and generations to come.
How many cowabungas do you guys give it?
Nice.
Or my toes or pizza times?
No.
I will give it.
Or big apples?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 5 cowabungas.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say 2.5 out of 10.
Right?
No, no.
Damn.
2.5 half shells out of 5? Dang. Okay. I get it. I get it.
Oh, shell shock.
Shell shock. Yeah, I'm shell shocked hearing that.
I,
You give it a, I
It's
thought
not
you
a
give
bad.
it
It's not a
3.
bad movie.
I thought
It's
you
not a
gonna give
bad
it a
movie.
3 out of 5.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to be
So
honest.
6 out of 10 pizza slices.
Yeah. No
And
anchovy.
honestly, I would probably give it a 6. Like my critical
Objectively.
brain and like my kid brain is like, this is like a 9 out of 10 because I had so much fun watching this when I was younger. But it's 6 is fair. 6 is a fair.
No, like realistically, I would give it like honestly, I'd give it better. I'd give it 3 out of 5. But like because of like growing up with it, everything 4 out of
It's
5.
better than
That
average.
would
It's
be it.
better than average.
Yeah, it's definitely better than average. Um, it's like I have so many like good memories of the movie or like of the property. That's just like I'm biased, with that, but outside of it, like yeah, I'm glad. All I can say that I'm glad that you two, Zach and Danny, had a lot of fun watching it. So at least I can kind of to be able to share because it was a fun day. Like it was a fun like time with a big group of people watching this movie. It was a good mix between people who have seen it and who have never seen it, and they're like, hey, like this is enjoyable. Like this is pretty fun. Like it wasn't like everybody who went to watch the movie wasn't like, oh man, I am completely like I wasted my time watching this movie. How dare I? Like this is so bad. No, like this is like pretty good. So like people had fun. So it was nice. Like that's really all I wanted out of it in the end, and we got that. And I think Anthony and I feel a little vindicated. It's like, hey, you know what? You guys never seen it. You guys watched it, and you enjoyed yourselves. You had fun.
It was also a great way to spend your birthday.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It was a lot of fun. I am not
Thank
38
you.
years old.
Thank you, Fathom Events.
Yeah, that was
But
really cool. Good
they
on
gotta
them.
reduce that starting time though.
Yeah, like it was like starting at 7, like psych 7:30, and then you had the behind the scenes stuff from the
It
documentary.
started at like 7:45.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they actually showed like normal 20 to 30 minutes of trailers as if it was a regular movie, and then it was like, now your show will start in 10 minutes, and they had a Fathom Event countdown. We were all like, wait, what? Is that real? Is that real?
It was like a 10-minute countdown, no?
Yeah. But it was more
yeah, it
like
really
a
was.
10 minutes of like Fathom Event commercials and other commercials that had to do with other Ninja Turtle merchandise that they were trying to sell, like Ninja Turtle board games
Yeah, they
or
had like
talking
that, like
about the behind the scenes documentary of making the movie.
of like a 4-hour documentary or something about the movie, which was like, hey, that's cool. It exists. It's like, yeah, I also kind of just want to watch the movie, but I got some cool stuff out of it. But it was like definitely like a fan event. But I think they got a lot of people like I think to go in and watch the movie who hadn't really seen it. So I think I think that's a win in and of itself. Like that's like an absolute win. So like next March, they're gonna have I think part 2. So like we're gonna get Secret of the Ooze. So I'm hyped for that. So
Man, so we have to wait
Hope-
a year to review that?
no, we gotta wait August 2, 3, 4, 7 months.
That's if they release it like in January or February.
It's in March.
Okay. They said that it was gonna play in March?
I believe so.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. March of 2026.
Cool.
Yeah. Because apparently, like, it got so popular, they extended the. So we watched this. There was a week from like August 17th. I'm trying to think. 2013. Yeah. August 15th to August 21st is what they were gonna like have this limited release of this movie. And apparently it got so popular they added an additional week. And then they said, hey, if people like this, let's watch the second one. And then we'll do the second one in March. I just hope by then people still will tolerate Vanilla Ice. That's
Who doesn't?
go ninja, go ninja, go. Oh man. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in and listening in to Anthony and I wax poetic about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as well as Zach and Danny's impressions of having never seen it before. It was a lot of fun talking about that. If you also have some fond memories of you watching the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we'd love to hear it from you. Reach out to us on all of our socials. And as always, please like and subscribe our content so you can get more of this wonderful, good take on some of the favorite movies and TV that we love. So with a little bit of a preview of next week, talking about some other licensed properties, we're going to kind of take it back a few years to Sony Pictures with releasing, a movie based off a video game. It stars one Tom Holland and surprisingly one Mark Wahlberg. If you haven't gotten that from those clues, then surprise, we'll be talking about Uncharted. So we'll get some of the takes, given the fact that Danny and Zach just recently played the games. It'll be fun to see how we all took to the movie adaptation. So
Yeah, I
until
did
next
my
time,
homework.
yeah, he did
I did my
homework.
homework.
Yeah,
I'm prepared.
Yeah, I'm excited
cannot
to
wait.
talk about this one too, just because it's also kind of like a game movie episode. So it'll be cool to go through the games and the movie.
Also, play Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo version. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just you'll thank us later. That game is amazing. But until next time, Turtles in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Radical.
Cowabunga.
Ninja vanish.